The farmer agreed. The farmer agreed. The farmer agreed.
Programming languages started to appear in the 1950s, and this was also another major step in abstraction. Programming languages started to appear in the 1950s, and this was also another major step in abstraction.
Brakes operated by hand levers on some bikes also increased safety. Brakes operated by hand levers on some bikes also increased safety. Brakes operated by hand levers on some bikes also increased safety.
Industrial engineering is a branch of engineering which deals with the optimization of complex processes or systems. Industrial engineering is a branch of engineering which deals with the optimization of complex processes or systems. This labor union set the following as a basic policy for personal information. This labor union set the following as a basic policy for personal information.
Wine is made by the fermentation of the sugar in grapes. Wine is made by the fermentation of the sugar in grapes. Wine is made by the fermentation of the sugar in grapes.
The word is also used to describe what a person expects will happen based on limited information. The word is also used to describe what a person expects will happen based on limited information.
Their first day at work was successful. Their first day at work was successful.
Despite graduating years ago, he still has access to his university email account. Despite graduating years ago, he still has access to his university email account. Despite graduating years ago, he still has access to his university email account.
Rules require that male gymnasts touch each corner of the floor at least once during their routine. Rules require that male gymnasts touch each corner of the floor at least once during their routine. The numerous literary and creative devices used within fiction are generally okay. The numerous literary and creative devices used within fiction are generally thought inappropriate for use in nonfiction.
They received praise for their good behavior. They received praise for their good behavior. They received praise for their good behavior.
It's going good. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, it's a lot of work. But it's really interesting to see how everything works and to be a part of the process. Yeah, definitely. I'm just glad that we were able to get these positions. Absolutely. Everything is really organized and planned out ahead of time, which makes our jobs a lot easier.
Which school subject do you find the most interesting? Why is it interesting to you? Which school subject do you find the most interesting? Why is it interesting to you? Which school subject do you find the most interesting? Why is it interesting to you?
Without a shadow of a doubt, biology is by far the most interesting subject I got at school. This is because since I was a child, I was very interested in how this world was working. For me, to be honest, all the subjects were like the same, which were about discovering this world. So it was hard for me to understand, for example, why social studies, why chemistry, why biology were treated as different subjects. But then I realized that biology is the one that I like the most because we are biological machines, obviously. So, I mean, first you have to try to know yourself because you are the tool that you have to work with. And if you are okay, if you know how you work, you can perform better. But after that, then it comes like chemistry because, well, we are machines. So, and after that, you have to understand how the rest of the world works. So, I would say that it was in that order, but biology is my cup of tea for sure. In this image, I can see three people. They are middle-aged and they are probably in a classroom. I'm telling this since they are sitting and they probably have something in common. Also, two of them are looking at the front, so probably they are staring at the whiteboard and paying attention to a class. The first man has, or the man to the left, has black hair. He's probably around his 50 years old and he's wearing a bluish shirt. I'm not really sure since I am colorblind. And he is wearing black pants as well. He looks formal all in all. Beside him there is a woman. She looks really glad or surprised. She's wearing a dotted blouse, maybe jeans, and high heel shoes. She's also wearing glasses, although they are on his head over her hair, and she is a brunette. On the right corner, there is a man. He has a more youthful spirit, and he's wearing a juvenile shirt. An important decision I had to make was building my own, perform my own income entrance. What I mean by this is that I used to get like different jobs and I didn't feel fine in any of them. Maybe because I was not a good employee, it is hard for me to follow instructions. I get distracted very easily. And it's also hard for me to follow a schedule since I always struggle at sleeping. It's very hard for me to go to bed early. So I can say that I'm an idol. So after failing at different jobs, somehow, more or less, to some extent, I decided that it was time to follow my gut, and get my own employees, so I could set the conditions according to my own personality, skills, and so on. At the beginning, it was hard, like many of my relatives were against this idea, but I had to believe in myself, and I proved them wrong over the years. So, um, at the end, it was very successful. So, yeah. An animal that I think that is highly interesting is the panda. Pandas are a kind of bear, 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 sorry, and they are a little bit clumsy. Well, they are actually very clumsy, but most people think that they are cute and they are a symbol of China. So some people think that they might go extinct because they lack the skills to survive, but not everybody agrees about it because um, they don't want to acknowledge that is because of the humans that are destroying their habitat that this species is decreasing in numbers. Okay, these animals they have a diet which is very poor and very dependent. So if we destroy their habitat, there is no way they can recover or adapt quickly. Actually, they are just not able to adapt probably at all. Okay, um, there is like some hope for this animal because they can be saved thanks to human intervention, and this is because they could reproduce on their measured conditions in the zoos, and because well, many people love them, and because they are a controlled species. However, some people disagree, and they think that they are a waste of sources, and that if they are not like ready or able to survive by themselves, they should go extinct naturally. As I said before, well, if we are speaking about extinction in a natural way, that is not acknowledging that we as humans are destroying where they live. And maybe, I don't know what to think about this. I guess that if we should like try to prevent like the extinction of most of the species, maybe by having DNA banks and by keeping a few of every species so we can recover them in the future to cloning or something like that.